Hello, everybody. Welcome to another exciting month of Patch Tuesday. It's April 2026, and we've got some fun ones. But first, cue the music. All right, and we're back. So a pretty fun month. I've got Matt here, one of our senior security engineers, and we're going to run through a couple of fun ones that we found and just kind of, yeah. I think first up, we've got a SQL Server elevation of privilege, which I find to be quite interesting. SQL injection in SQL Server, not in your app, not in your web front end or the database engine itself, straight up in the SQL Server. It's like the what is it, the Buster Rhymes meme? You know, we got SQL in your SQL injection in your SQL Server. You know, so
Exhibit. I think is one you're thinking of.
Exhibit, man. See, I grew up in the '90s, so I've got all, I got Exhibit, I got Buster Rhymes, got everyone.
Yep.
So basically, this allows an attacker who is already has high level privileges on the local system to escalate to SQL sysadmin. So, I mean, if there was ever an argument with your database team about why role separation matters in SQL, this is your Exhibit A, essentially, because you don't need sysadmin for that. It turns out this month you can kind of just take it.
Yeah. And I think a lot of people also use one service account for many different things. And while it is the easy thing to do, we've had instances here where something happens to a service account and we don't know what that service account is. We don't know what it's tied to. We don't know what's using it. We don't know mostly where that is. And so more of a point to have service accounts per function so that you can easily contain, rotate, and you don't break multiple things if you do have to do that.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's also interesting because this drops the same month as a SQL Server RCE in CVE 2026 33120. So you've got one bug that lets someone off the network basically pop into your SQL instance, and another that lets someone already inside promote themselves to essentially God mode in said instance. So really fun ones, not actively exploited at the moment, but definitely something you should patch. That's really what you can do on this one. Also, good role segmentation. So
yeah,
and scoping. But yeah, that's the SQL one. That one is the one I really wanted to kind of get out there in the open. But Matt, you've got an even more fun one that's being actively exploited, right?
Yeah. Apparently it is being actively exploited, and it's a cross-site scripting vulnerability in SharePoint.
What year is this?
That's what I always ask when these things come up, like cross-site scripting and SQL injection. It's like we're in 2026, so I don't know why these things keep happening, but I don't know. I think it's a testament to his software gets more complicated and code bases get larger, and we start introducing, more code and potentially more AI. I was just reading something on LinkedIn where there is a huge uptick in AI, vulnerabilities within AI generated code. And that's to nobody's surprise, right? Because vibe coding, you're just button mashing Claude saying, yes, 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 take more tokens, do the thing.
Please. Yeah.
But anyway, I digress. In this CVE, supposedly an unauthenticated attacker basically can exploit input validation just like any XSS would, and potentially upgrade to system. Doesn't require any privileges, which makes it accessible to external threats. SharePoint's used for external facing sites. It can talk to backend storage. So Again,
is this for on-prem SharePoint servers or for SharePoint as a whole? I guess Microsoft would patch that. It looks like it's.
I mean, I'm thinking.
Yeah,
I'm kind of thinking they call it on-prem just because I would think that's directly connected to a lot of other things. But I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't think it mentioned it in the CV. It might just be on-prem, like self-hosted instances. But
yeah, I mean,
still not
like
great.
if you're still running on-prem SharePoint exposed to the internet in 2026, first of all, like really sorry. Second of all, patch. I've had to manage SharePoint servers, exposed to the internet, and it's always like there's always that little bead of sweat that's running down your forehead when a new vulnerability comes out. But yeah, not a fun one.
Those are the two biggest things. I did want to call out how bad of a time Microsoft Edge, the Chromium-based one, is having this month. I think that's like 75% of the sheet probably that we got. So I think that's worth mentioning. There's a lot of research being done.
I mean, good for anybody who found this. This is like half the sheet easily.
Yeah.
So we could go into, I mean, just patch Edge. Like I'm just going through all of these just to cover all of these. There's none being actively exploited, but there's enough here to where I would just make sure to patch it. That's all I can really say on that one.
And I think Edge and Chrome are much easier to patch than, an SQL Server or something running potentially sensitive and important workloads.
Yeah, definitely. And I think the one thing I do want to make sure I'm calling out every month this year, up until the expiration of Microsoft's like secure boot certificates, update your BIOSes, your firmwares, and your operating systems to ensure that you are getting those rotated certificates around secure boot. Otherwise, there's going to be a lot of brick devices this year. So yeah,
that's going to be a bad time.
I'm thankful we have a tool here that we can just knock all that stuff out. So, I think that's gonna, I think that's gonna do it for us today and for this month. No April Fooling, just patch. And we will see you in May.
Bye-bye, everybody.